Am I the asshole? My roommate refuses to do any chores, so I raised rent without telling him. My roommate refuses to do any chores in our apartment. Doesn't clean, take out the trash, dishes or anything. We've split rent and utilities down the middle for the last year, but a few months ago he just stopped doing all chores with no explanation, and when I bring it up to him he tells me that he doesn't need to do them because I do a perfectly fine job on them. So I raised rent about $150 a month to contribute to this, and he didn't seem to care, but a mutual friend said that he was very upset with me about it but didn't want to directly tell me. I would lower rent if he did chores. He's upset I raised it but still doesn't do anything. Aida? Not the asshole, he wants a maid, he needs to pay for one. Also, he's getting off cheap. When I had someone coming over to clean for me, it was $260 a month, and that was a low cost of living area. Not the asshole, the fact that you only raised it $150 is so nice, he should be grateful. I would have raised it $300 plus. Be hella petty about it too. Charge a broken agreement fee, for just stopping chores and refusing to start again. And a convenience fee, because you have made his life much more convenient by doing all the household tasks, and basically being his mommy. An hourly fee, definitely on the higher end for a proper maid. And a biohazard fee for cleaning up bathrooms and shit after him. Self-explanatory. Not the asshole. You're doing extra labor to cover for his filthy ass. He doesn't even have the spine to tell you to your face that he's unhappy about it. Personally, I'd bump the rent up even more, because if you're cleaning his dishes and taking out his trash, you're doing him a favor. A cleaning service would cost more than just $150 per month. If your pig roommate is unhappy, he'll leave and find someone else to play mommy for him. Everyone sucks here. He should absolutely contribute to the household, but this required a conversation. Either you help out with chores, or I will be raising your rent as a cleaning charge. Also, if you have the power to raise his rent, then is this apartment in your name? In that case, your other option would be to evict him and get a better roommate. I don't know where you live, but you don't just get to raise the rent without telling your tenant ahead of time. There are laws against this. This sounds like a toxic living situation for both of you, and someone needs to get out. Not the asshole, I like the petty. You should have charged him more. On the boring adult responsibility side of things, if you actually want this to get solved, you need to talk with him. Tell him you're going to start charging him at least $300 a month to start for in-house cleaning services unless he starts stepping up and being an adult. Legally, do not call it rent. There are laws that protect people from arbitrary rent increases, and it could turn into a whole thing. Am I the asshole for telling my sister that my nephew is not my baby? My sister, 23 female, lives at home and has a 6-month-old baby. She never moved in with her boyfriend because they live far from each other and neither of them wanted to compromise. Her baby daddy never ever comes around. He's seen their son probably less than 30 days total of his entire life. And because of this, my sister has been treating me, 21 female, and my mom as his other parent. She expects free childcare constantly while she works and whatnot, and gets very upset when I act hesitant about it for whatever reason. Because she doesn't want to send him to daycare. She'd be eligible to get free childcare in our state but doesn't trust it. And I love my nephew to death, but these are my child-free, college years. I have been parentified and forced to play mommy for my little siblings for years, and just when they're getting to the age that they don't need me so much, I don't think I should be forced to step up and play mommy to another child who isn't mine. Especially when I'm on winter break for the next couple of weeks and just want to enjoy sleeping in way too late and being lazy before I'm thrown back into full-time college. This has been happening for 4 months at this point though. So when she asked if I'd watch him tomorrow, I got a bit of an attitude but ultimately said yes. But to that she got snappy with me and was like, "Why do you always act like you don't want to do it?" Quote. To which I got upset and responded, "Because he's not my kid and I shouldn't be expected to do this all the time." She got very angry at me and is now not talking to me at all, and is surely going to weaponize my nephew against me. And to an extent, sure, I understand her anger. I know that you should be able to rely on your village, and I don't know if I'm in the wrong for not wanting to do this. But I am so tired of taking care of other people's children all the time for free, even if I love the kids to death. I can't tell if I'm being selfish or not. Am I the asshole here? Not the asshole. You did not decide to have a baby, she did. Taking care of the baby is her responsibility. I might be hesitant to put a 6-week-old in daycare, but not a 6-month-old. Now if he goes to daycare and one day she needs you because baby is sick and can't go, then I'd hope you'd step up. But that should be a rare thing. It's her kid, not yours. Not the asshole 100%. She expects free childcare constantly while she works and whatnot and gets very upset when I act hesitant about it for whatever reason. You didn't choose to have a child, she did. She's got no right to foist her responsibilities on you. If she doesn't trust the childcare, it's on her to find another solution. You absolutely have every right to enjoy your freedom. You're 21. I don't think I should be forced to step up and play mommy to another child who isn't mine. Absolutely. Especially as you have already had to go through parentification, which is never okay. If she weaponizes your nephew against you, that's a clear statement of who she is. Doing that is always disgraceful. You aren't being selfish. She is. Stand your ground. Not the asshole. Your sister chose to have a child with a deadbeat man. It's up to her to figure out how to manage. It's ridiculous to expect you to take care of your nephew just because she wants you to. What is she going to do when you get a job and move out? Seems to me that your sis is guilt-tripping you. If you don't want to babysit, you have every right to refuse. You'll likely take a backlash for it. In fact, it looks like you have been. Weather the coming storm and stick to your guns, op. You are not the asshole. Not the asshole. You love your nephew, but he isn't your responsibility, he is your sister's. He is her child. It sucks that the father is not present and you and your mom have been picking up the slack. Your sister has unrealistic expectations. She is eligible for daycare and should explore that option. It's your life. Don't set yourself on fire to keep anyone warm. Def not the asshole. Am I the asshole for kicking my sister-in-law out of my house after what she said to my son? Okay, so here's what happened. My husband's sister, Amanda, has always been a bit opinionated. She's one of those people who says she's just being honest, but really, she's just rude. We've clashed before, but this time, she crossed a serious line. Amanda was staying with us for a couple of days because she was passing through our city. Things were fine at first, awkward but civil. Then, on the second night, my 10-year-old son, Ethan, came downstairs to show off this drawing he made of a dragon. He's super into art and fantasy stuff, and honestly, he's really talented for his age. He proudly hands Amanda his drawing, and she just laughs. Not in a nice, oh, how cute, way. No, it was like a mocking laugh. Then she says, wow, maybe stick to something you're actually good at, huh? Ethan just kind of stood there, looking totally crushed. I was fuming. I told her that was completely uncalled for, and she shrugged and said, I'm just being honest. Kids need to hear the truth, not be coddled. I lost it. I told her to pack her stuff and leave. My husband tried to calm me down, but I wasn't having it. There's a huge difference between honesty and cruelty, and I won't have anyone tearing my kid down in his own home. Now, Amanda's blasting me to the rest of the family, saying I overreacted and that I humiliated her. My husband thinks I could have handled it differently, but he's not exactly defending her either. So, am I the asshole for kicking her out? Text his sister that, just as you said, kids shouldn't be coddled, so your sorry ass won't be coddled in my house anymore. Sorry, the truth hurts. I'm just keeping it real by dropping truth bombs. Tell your husband that if he is okay with his sister humiliating your son, then he can join her right now. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She's a miserable hag. You were very polite by asking her to pack up her bags and go. I'd have just thrown her shit out. As for your husband, dude needs to remember that one of his roles as a father is to protect his children from everything and everyone, including his horrible sister. Your son will remember this moment for life. He'll remember that his father did not stand up for him. His sister is the one who has been coddled too much and thus now behaves like a 9-year-old. You didn't need to handle anything when he was there. Whatever, better. Way he thinks you should have handled it, he should have done that himself. Not the asshole. Kids take shit to heart, especially at a young age, and as an art kid you should foster that natural creativity. You were just defending your child, and also it sounds like you were standing up to someone who probably needed to be put in place. Tell her you were just being honest. She didn't need to be coddled and stay in your house if she couldn't hear it. Who did you humiliate her in front of? A 10-year-old? GTFO. Not the asshole. Not the asshole in the slightest. Someone who has to drop hard truths on a 10-year-old and doesn't see what they did wrong doesn't deserve second chances. Stand up for your son and keep your sister-in-law away from him if she can't conduct herself accordingly. When I was like 12 years old, I was practicing an evil laugh. I was so proud of it. I started low and like bubbled up slowly at first and then really went all in with it. I played D&D with my dad and was so proud of my evil laugh. One day I very excitedly asked to show my dad and my grandpa my evil laugh. I did it and they laughed in my face, told me how terrible it was. I'll never forget it. It's been maybe 20 years since then and I still play D&D. In fact, I DM for my friends. To this day, I don't do evil laughs. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend's friend's fiancé I didn't pay for the couple trip? So I, 24F, went on a trip with my boyfriend, 27M, and his friend, 26M, along with his fiancé, 25F. This happened last weekend. That Fallout is active. I was told the fiancé planned the cabin trip and this was my first time meeting her, so upon meeting her I said thanks for planning everything. The cabin was so beautiful, great location and amenities, so great choice on her part. I'm gushing over her planning skills and asking for tips as I'm in charge of planning a trip with my boyfriend in 5 weeks. The fiancé casually mentions the price of the cabin and that it was a steal, and I'm sure I'm glad it was so cheap, split 4 ways. I told her it didn't make me any difference as I wasn't paying anyway. She got quiet when I said that for a few minutes, but we resumed the good vibes, so I didn't think anything of it. The whole weekend she's giving her fiancé the cold shoulder. According to my BF, it turns into us 3 versus the friend since she was hanging out with me most of the trip and my boyfriend liked to be under me too. Like it was so bad that she'd sit with us on the sofa and make the fiancé sit by himself in the recliner chair. Every time I went to the hot tub she went, or if we wanted to go on a morning walk she would come to without waking her fiancé. I didn't notice anything weird since this is my first time meeting and interacting with them, so I didn't understand how their relationship works. I just thought maybe they're not affectionate. Fast forward to today, my boyfriend gets a call from his friend pissed that I told his fiancé I didn't pay anything. This apparently ruined his trip as his fiancé felt, and said this in private to him, that she felt embarrassed to sleep with him or be affectionate to him in front of us since I'm so well taken care of by my partner and she doesn't feel the same. My boyfriend was in shock and is mostly a listener, so he didn't really defend me but said to keep the peace he'll ask I no longer discuss finances with his fiancé. I said okay, but still wondering if I was the asshole to mention it on the trip. Everyone had already paid, we were already there to have a good time, so maybe I should have just focused on that instead of who paid for what. So am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Different couples have different forms of contribution and relationship dynamics. Your boyfriend's friend and his fiancé need to be on the same page in regards to finances, which has nothing to do with you and your boyfriend's lifestyle. You unintentionally highlighted an underlying issue in their relationship where their personal values don't align. It wasn't your intent to cause problems, but I suggest that in the future, avoid discussing finances because you would end up getting involved with their issues as a couple. Not the asshole. Weird that she got upset over that. A little odd you mentioned you weren't paying. You are slightly the asshole when she mentioned the split 4 ways. You did not need to say, I wouldn't know, my boyfriend paid for everything, or whatever braggy thing you said. Yes, it was bragging even if only slightly, as there was no valid reason you needed to share how your tickets were paid for. Especially because you had just heard her say she had to pay for hers. Any woman would know that would hurt another woman's feelings. I have a different take on this situation. You are the asshole for not being aware or mindful enough or smart enough or quick enough on the draw to realize after that, split 4 ways, comment, hey. This was split 4 ways? Wait a second. Somehow that means. Okay, I won't mention I didn't have to pay for anything. You are the asshole in this case. Try to be more discerning in the future. You are not the asshole because your boyfriend picked up your share. You are the asshole for not catching on when he said, split 4 ways, come on now. What did you think he meant, and how could you have not caught on? Edited. It's no one's business if you paid or not. I'm not even going to address the behavior of the other actors in this drama. Everyone sucks here, well, just you and the fiancé. You for saying you don't care how much it costs because your partner is paying. That's just rude. Of course you should care if he gets a good deal or not. You sound spoiled. Fiancé for treating her fiancé so poorly just because she's, very reasonably, expected to pay her own way, and for ruining the couple time you and your partner could have had together, not to hang out with you, but to annoy her fiancé and prove a point. Not the asshole how you and your boyfriend split finances has zero impact on their choices.